UNC is off to a 2-3 starts. 2-3, Jordan, right? I hope I'm not wrong right off the bat. Because they beat Charlotte and I don't know if they beat someone else. Yeah.
2-3 with that absolutely embarrassing loss to not very good Clemson.
Yes, Clemson last week was an embarrassment, and that's what got me thinking about this. So you can, early season games like they get destroyed at TCU, whatever, like, they're still finding their footing, but like the Clemson game against a Clemson team everybody was saying was over, and that game was that Dabo Sweeney started putting in his backups way early. That game was over by halftime, maybe even the end of the first quarter, and it was empty at UNC. Like that, I was looking around that stadium, I was watching that game in the early window last week. I believe it was a noon Eastern time start, and like that wasn't even half full at halftime. I didn't even see at the end, so it was pretty rough. But why has Bill Belichick failed so bad though? And I'm curious what everyone thinks. I think it's pretty simple. I don't think it's that complex. I think it's because he doesn't care. I don't think he cares enough. And that might be like, oh, that's a hot take, or you're just saying that you don't know the work behind the scenes, right? But like UNC they weren't great last year, but they were like a middling team. I don't remember if they might have snuck in the bowl, but they were about like 6 wins or something last year. And now it looks like I'd be honestly surprised if they win another game. And again, you might say like, well, Evan, you don't know what goes behind the scenes. Well, supposedly we found out this week what's going on behind the scenes is he's asking for a buyout. He's trying to negotiate his own buyout. Again, we don't know that for sure, but I mean that's what the reporting's saying. So yeah, it is not going good. And then so you may say, okay, well, it's tough to build a program from year one, right? Well, take a look at Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders, his first year in Colorado, superstar coming up to coach a team, not familiar with college. I'm gonna finish my point really quick on this, Jordan, and then I will throw it to you. But superstar trying to get ready. And he gets tons of transfers. He gets 5 stars to come there. Travis Hunter comes there. His own son comes there. Who wouldn't want to play for Bill Belichick, right? On UNC. Like I remember thinking that last year when we were probably talking about this, like who would not want to like have their kid transfer and go play for Bill Belichick, the Patriot way, right? But the Patriot way, I think, has just been torn apart because Belichick doesn't care as much. He didn't care. We had a video way back in the day talking about that debacle when the Patriots were playing the Raiders and they tried lateraling it around. Like, do you think the old Belichick would ever, stand for that? So I'm not trying to tarnish his legacy. Honestly, he's doing that himself, but it's just been not good. So I think it's simple. It's because he doesn't care. And I'd be shocked if he was still coaching there next year.
All right. Well, Evan mentioned that look at the Deion Sanders. I just want to mention the first year that he was there, he brought 71 players out of the portal. That's really not how to build a program. So I just want to throw that out there. But
But I
to
was
answer
just going to
the
say really
question,
quick, at least he had like a tiny bit of success. Bill Belichick is
he
having
did,
the
he
opposite, but
did,
that's always it. You're right though,
he
Jordan. Yeah.
did, he did, he did. But to answer the question why Bill Belichick has not succeeded at UNC, I think the answer is simple. I'll give a funny answer first, and then the actual real answer. He just doesn't have Tom Brady there. Uh, I'm pretty sure
Nah, he's
Jake
too focused on his girlfriend.
that too. And obviously, college players are a lot different to coach than NFL players. School and all that stuff's going on as well, so they got double duty if you want to call it that. Um, but yeah, it's actually interesting because Evan was talking about the whole buyout thing, which to my knowledge, maybe one of you two can tell me this. His buyout's not that expensive.
I think it was like $1 million. Like it could be which actually for him is not that expensive, but still like, so the point I was hearing is like, dude, you've already made tons of money with the Patriots. And yes, I know you want to still cash out on some money, but like, it's probably more has to do with good PR than the money. Like if he just quit mid-season, that's going to tarnish his legacy even more. Whereas, if he goes to the end of the season, it's like, oops, it didn't work out. Like maybe people will forget about it in a couple of years. But yeah, he's trying to buy himself out, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. And I'm interested to get Evan and Jake's opinion on this. Is it reputation destroying? Because we know what he did in the NFL, And then obviously, you go to college football, which is a completely different monster, and you're failing this bad at UNC in year one. So I guess Evan, Jake, just really quickly, just tell me, is this like, um, God, what was the verbiage I used before? Legacy killing.
I mean, I think it is. I mean, I think you don't want to quit in the middle of the season, no matter where you are in your career. I think that, if he quits mid-season at UNC, which I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, and he does quit mid-season, I think that, people are going to look at Bill Belichick. Yes, he won a lot of games, but like he came back to coaching and he quit. He's a quitter. You know, Obviously, if you do the rest of the season, like Evan said, like you said, Evan, you know, if you if you coach the rest of the season, it doesn't end up working out. You buy yourself out of your contract, you retire, no harm done. But like, don't quit in the middle of the season. People will look at you as a quitter.
Right. When I see that Clemson game, that's all I see is quitting. Like quitting without actually quitting. Like they look completely unprepared for it.
Call
Honestly, a
quiet
team
quitter.
quiet quitting. Exactly. Yep. To answer the question, I don't think it destroys his legacy completely because like whenever you still look up who won 6 Super Bowl rings, it's got Bill Belichick's face in front of it. So not it will never completely erase that, but I think it is character destroying. I think it is like Bill Belichick, the silent guy, the guy who, he'll, punish his players at practice, like get them ready for the game, make them mentally strong. Like that's that guy. And now he's running around with his girlfriend. I'm not trying to get into his personal life. Like it just seems like clearly this is a guy who is a celebrity who's trying to hang on to his celebrity status as long as he can. Again, if he's happy with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's happy, like I don't want to get involved in that, but clearly this is some sort of like late life crisis, identity crisis or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, like it's definitely character destroying from again, everyone used to say the Belichick way. Well, now the Belichick way is I don't know what the Belichick way is anymore. So it's not legacy. I don't think it's legacy because people remember the Super Bowls, but yeah, character destroying absolutely.
Um, yeah, but also I want to answer that first question that you asked Jordan. You were like, oh, I guess that you asked Evan. You were like, is this all on Bill Belichick? Is Bill Belichick the only failure at UNC right now? And my answer to that question is no. I think that obviously UNC, as you point out, they didn't have a bad season last year. But you go out, get a transfer quarterback in Gio Lopez, who I believe transferred from Appalachian State.
But that's
And
the guy they
we
already
know
benched, right? Wasn't it a different quarterback last weekend? I feel like it was.
Well, anyway, not talking exactly about last weekend because that only made them 2-3. You were still winning. You were still 1-2 before, which is not like a Bill Belichick record. But I don't think it's only on Bill Belichick. I also think it's on quarterback play. Gio Lopez, obviously the transfer from Appalachian State, I believe it was. He didn't play well this season. He hasn't played well this season. I'm gonna be surprised if they stick with him all season. It's a matter of quarterback play, wide receiver play, even running back play. Defense is not there. It's just all over the place in UNC, and I don't see a way that it gets fixed with Bill Belichick at the reins. I think that this program this year is completely lost. I think UNC needs to hit the portal again, see what they can do. See if they can get a new quarterback in there, see if they can get new weapons in there, see if they can get a new defense in there. So, I mean,
No, but you're
we'll see.
exactly right though. Whatever the solution for them is not going to involve Bill Belichick. I guarantee that. Yeah.
Well, I guess the main question I have at this point is do what does holy cow. I apologize for that. But what does UNC do the rest of the year? How many more games do they win? Let me
I
just
think none. I think none. I don't know their schedule though. Go, yeah, maybe you got it
Let
pulled
me
up
just go
here.
ahead and read that
Yeah.
out. They have a bye week this week, and then next Friday night, the 17th, they play at Cal, and then home for Virginia, who's Virginia's really good. They're having a great year. At Syracuse on Halloween night. Then they have another bye week. Come home, host Stanford. They go to Winston-Salem to face Wake Forest. They host Duke, and then they close the season out against the team they play every year at the end of the year, and NC State in Raleigh.
So I think what you said Winston-Salem, like that's like a lower level team, right?
Wake Forest.
Oh, Wake Forest. Oh, okay. No,
Wake Forest is
now
in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
got it. I actually did not know that. No, they will lose to Wake Forest. I think they might have a chance. I think either at home or against Duke or at home against there was an at home against Stanford. Those may be their chances. So I think 4 wins is the max. 2 to 4 wins. That's what I see for them. Yeah.
So looking at the final 7 games right here, I honestly think they end up going 3-9. I think Stanford's the only game they win the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Jordan. I think that looking at these last 7 games, I think they have really tough opponents. You know, Cal is obviously a very good dark horse in the ACC. I don't think they can make the ACC championship game, but I think they can definitely make some noise in the ACC. You know,
No, yeah.
maybe contend.
Cal at home beats the current USC team by like 3 touchdowns.
And
Easy.
you
And then
also got
Cal's
Oh
not
to
even
yeah,
that good. Yeah.
definitely.
remember that it's going to be a cross country trip for UNC, so
Right.
that
Yeah,
adds a
definitely.
lot to it.
I don't think they stand a chance against Virginia, even though that game's at home. Virginia's a very good team. Don't want to go into the Carrier Dome. You know, obviously they won't beat Syracuse at home against Stanford. I'm going to agree with you, Jordan. I think that's the only game they might have a chance in. Stanford is not a good team, especially with Ben um Brand go go Branson at quarterback. You know, Stanford is just not a good team.
I mean, well, honestly, theoretically speaking, don't they have a chance in all 7 games? Because college football is crazy. So I
Hey,
guess
you know what? You miss a
they
hundred
do.
percent of the shots you don't take. You miss 100% of the games you don't try in.
But you know what? I'm gonna go against the grain. I know. I think this team's quit on Bill Belichick. I will like be super shocked. Like I'll make an apology video if they win more than 4 games. They're Duke and Stanford are the maybes. That's it. And I honestly see them losing both of them. But
I don't even think they have a chance against Duke. Duke's a very good team, you know, obviously with Manny Diaz, you know, with the rings right there. You know, Duke is a very good team. I don't think UNC stands a chance against them. And by the way, I was just looking at it. They did go to another quarterback last week. They went to Max Johnson, transfer from Texas A&M.
So I think we're all in agreement here. UNC is not making a bowl game, not even coming close.
oh heck no,
Definitely not.
no. They'll be ineligible before probably November, I guess. Yeah, because they're gonna
Yeah,
lose to Cal. They're gonna get destroyed at Cal. Syracuse will be like over in the first quarter. Yeah, it's gonna get ugly. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe Jordan Hudson can play quarterback. No, just
And you know
again, I
what?
don't I don't want to get into all that, but it might
That
sort
would
of
be that would be interesting.
yeah, make it fun at least. The mistake for the fans might stick around. Yeah. What
Hey, you know
Yeah,
what?
maybe.
They might get butts in seats.
yeah.
May throw 10 interceptions a game, but hey, you know what?